What's up, party people? Let me make sure I got my USB audio, AirPods. Last time I recorded all through my AirPods and the audio sucks, so I'll make sure I'm listening through my AirPods in case anyone else joins me. But I'm speaking through this microphone, which is better sound quality, and we're off and running. Hola, amigos. It is Thursday, September 18th, 2025, 7:16 p.m. Eastern Time, a rare weekday recording. I'm off to Los Angeles again tomorrow, Friday, September, whatever the day after I just said is. Off to visit the lady. But if I'm being quite honest, the relationship is on life support. Out of respect for her, I will refrain from the details. Nothing egregious has occurred or any sort of dramatic, I don't know, conflagration of some sort. But, you know, long distance is tough. We'll put it that way. And so we'll go tomorrow and see if we can resurrect this relationship in LA. If not, my life is very much up in the air. I'm trying to stay positive in the moment. The potential of any relationship will obviously be a sad thing and a death of sorts. But I've been through this many times now, and I'm developing, I think, healthier strategies for dealing with that. Most important of which is just solidifying yourself and staying busy in things that you find purposeful. So we shall see. I, w- I, I'm fully committed to the relationship, and I have every intention of seeing it through and trying to be the best partner I can be. But it takes two to tango out here. Um, and I do understand my boyfriend skills are they're not rudimentary. Let's say they're still in progress. They're behind. It's definitely an area of my personal growth where I'm behind my peers, similarly aged peers. But I feel good about the direction my personal development is heading in. So we shall see. I'll spend the weekend in Burbank and perhaps coming back with my plan right now is to move back into her apartment in Burbank in at the beginning of the year. So if that relationship is no more, then things will be up in there, and perhaps I'll stay here in Oregon for the through the end of the school year. And all's up in there. I guess that's kind of going to be more of the focus of these podcasts going forward. Is kind of what's up next in my life, especially if no one hops on. I'll do a quick recap of sports. See, and then I'll just talk my life. Seahawks had a huge win last week. Congratulations to our Lord and Savior head coach Mike McDonald. Big win against the Steelers on the road against Aaron Rodgers and the boys. Everyone, the defense is locked in. Have no fears. Full faith. The defense is locked in. I have the Seahawks defense in every fantasy matchup or every fantasy team I have. I have every fantasy team. It sounds so bad. I have three fantasy football teams. I went money league. I went on like $100 in three different teams. So I did very well in fantasy last year, so potentially making over $1,000 so I can get some championships. I got Seahawks defense in every one of my fantasy leagues. The offense looked much better. Running game was clicking. Kenneth Walker was breaking runs. Sam Darnold looked more dialed in. So yeah, it's just going to take time. The defense is good to go. The offense is just going to take time to gel under new offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak and new quarterback Sam Darnold and new second receiver Cooper Cup and kind of a rebuilt offensive line led by rookie Gray Zabel and new starting tight end and this AJ Barner / Elijah Arroyo, rookie Elijah Arroyo. So there's pieces to fit in. Nicky Eamon I got to get an update on him, the rookie safety out of South Carolina, injured in the second. Was he injured in this game? Or the first game? Anyway, I think he's still out. Had some injuries. I think Devin Witherspoon was out this game, arguably the best player on the team. So cornerback. So huge win. I don't even know the fuck they play this week. I'm following sports. Honestly, that's all like I consume from a media perspective is part of my Take Sports podcast, MMA podcast, the Errol Hawani show and the related podcast under his like little network, and then a podcast called Morning Combat, which covers all of combat sports. And then I listen to Heed the Call, which is an NFL podcast, the College Game Day podcast, and the Matt Berry Show, which is like 30 minutes once a week, just to refresh on college football. And that's really all the time I have right now for sports. So I know sports are kind of on the way out because there's so many other things I want to learn about the world. And even under my very limited professional obligations and very limited personal obligations, like the only things I find time to consume in my free time media wise are sports. I don't listen to any politics. I don't read books. I don't. So there's so many other things I want to learn. So sports gonna have to go at some point because I think I got my doctorate in fucking sports consumption and even playing at this point. So definitely will always continue training MMA, and I'll continue following MMA regularly. And probably continue following football for the next couple of years. Um, but yeah, I consume a lot, but I don't. Anyway, college football dogs with a huge fucking. Well, we talked about that on Saturday night with a huge win. I think they have an off week this week. Huge win over Tennessee last week. My LSU Tigers as well. I grew up an LSU fan, born in Louisiana. All my dad's side of my family went to LSU. Nussmeier's the truth. He's the most pro-ready quarterback I've seen thus far. Although he had a shaky game against Florida. Um, they might have an off week too. Georgia Alabama coming up on September 27th is going to be a mega showdown. I believe it's in Athens. Um, Yeah, so football keeps rocking. We got week 3 coming up. Once again, I don't know the fuck the Seahawks play. The Vikings, my Vikes, man, dude. So I've talked about this guy, Max Brosmer, Vikings rookie or second year slash kind of rookie because he's hurt all last year. Quarterback JJ McCarthy, he's injured. They signed Carson Wentz at the very end of training camp. But guess who's lurking? I've been talking about him. I'm speaking this into fruition. I swear we're living in a simulation. Our new Lord and Savior, Max Brosmer, the second coming of Mike McDonald, Centennial High School graduate. He's coming, boys. I can't believe I've been talking about this guy when he was fucking quarterback of Minnesota last year, just kind of joking around on the Legion Zoom text group. I'm telling you, this guy could be playing this week if what the fuck's his name? Carson Wentz comes in this week and has a shitty game. Max Brosmer is like one shitty half, one injury away from being the starting quarterback for your Minnesota Vikings. Holy fucking shit. So it's coming. Dude, JJ McCarthy looks horrible. He looked like a gamer. Dude, I was joking around with Bucky last week on the podcast. Uh, he looked like a gamer in that game against the Bears in week 1 in the fourth quarter, but dude, he was terrible. Against who the fuck they play? Vikings played the Falcons. Yeah, hometown Falcons. Uh, yeah, apparently had a baby just born, so maybe cut him some slack. But it's a weird kind of injury benching this week where he's hurt, but I don't know, kind of fishy how he popped up on the injury report. Um, so yeah, UFC Noche was this past week. It was great. Main event: Diego Lopez versus John Lord Silva. Fucking great 145-pound featherweight bout. Um, both from Brazil, but Lopez also kind of reps Mexico. It's in San Antonio. Supposed to be in Guadalajara. Stadium wasn't ready in Guadalajara. So they do the Mexican Independence Day fight, Noche UFC. That's my face. So covered up by this microphone. Should have it here so you can see my face, right? I see podcasters doing that. I tried doing that. Get a microphone stand. My microphone is right here. So you can see my face more personal or underneath here. Uh hmm, anyway. Yeah, great fights. I'm trying to show this Coach Mike jersey, but it makes me just like a head. Um, great fights, great fights, great fights, great fights on Nurture UFC. UFC's off this week again, I guess, because they were so busy last week because Dana White, who is the head of UFC, but UFC is now part of like this mega parent corporation called TKO, which also owns the WWE and is getting into the boxing game. Kind of getting in bed with Saudi Arabia and their fucking weird tourism sports commission that's taking over sports under leadership of their weird fucking creepy like picnic table cover wearing scarf guy. His name's Turkey Al Sheikh. This guy's got like unlimited funds from Saudi government of Saudi Arabia who's using sports. It's called sports washing. Like trying to take over sports and inject the name of Saudi Arabia, in particular, like tourism in Saudi Arabia, into the sports scene, like using sporting events as advertising for Saudi Arabia. Who the fuck would want to go to Saudi Arabia, man? Like, honestly, I know it's a wealthy country, but even then, I might be the last place I want to go on earth. Like 150 degrees Sharia law land? What? Sounds like literal hell. No wonder they have to fucking, go through this whole fucking sports washing campaign where it's like ritual beheadings for things that are not even crimes in the United States, of like ritual beheadings for expressions of like self, like basic expressions of self. Like some of the biggest sporting events, especially in combat sports, boxing and MMA, are being brought to you by this regime. So anyway, I don't want to be that fucking super woke guy, but it is the truth. I mean, it's definitely one of those areas where, as a libertarian, I can fucking get on some woke causes. But even more than libertarian or political activist, I'm a fucking sports fan, and particularly UFC fan, combat sports fan, and I put on another banger, Saudi Arabia this weekend, with in conjunction with Dana White, but clearly Dana White is beefing with Turkey Al Sheikh, the Saudi Arabia guy. Um, but they put on the Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford, and it was a banger fight. Although boxing is always so much lamer than MMA, but it was a really good boxing match. And Crawford pulled it out, much smaller man, although he didn't seem that much smaller. But he was the underdog. Canelo's a legend, but he's at the end of the road. Although Crawford's much older, not much older, but actually older. Canelo, I guess, got more mileage. Good fight. Boxing's cool. They did a great job, made it big, but it drags on. And man, that's one of those examples. Just hearing like the podcast after the fact, reviewing the broadcast, and it was put on by Netflix, and so you have all these powers coming together: UFC slash Dana White with Saudi Arabia, Turkey Al Sheikh coming together with Netflix. Not to mention the individual, the promoters of each boxer. So a lot of moving parts and a really big production. It dragged on from what I heard. That's why I like to watch the shit after the fact, so I can watch on replay and fast forward and all that stuff. So combat sports is popping. Um, yeah, I don't think I see him. Check my text real quick. See if anyone's gonna plan on hopping on. If not, we can wrap this shit up. And check here. Cool. Um, so yeah, that's what's going on in sports. Um, and in life, I've been getting to better training routine. I've been talking about how my new gym, which I love, everyone is great at the gym. I was thinking today, what I love so much about the gym? It's the people. They're chill. The professors are so knowledgeable and um, accessible, and don't have an ego. The black belts, which is really great. So it's a really great chill environment at the gym. I've complained about, I don't want to say complain, but me personally, because every gym is different. It's not my fucking gym, and people should go whatever gym they want to go to that has a style of teaching and practice that they like. I like more roll. I prefer 50-50 split of our time of 30 minutes rolling and 30 minutes drilling such practice and then 30 minutes actual sparring. We've actually been moving more towards that, it seems like this week. So maybe I'm like getting that telepathic message out. And I've been talking to people about it too, just like respectfully, hey, my personal opinion, we should do more rolling. That's the best way to get better fast. And it's just better for your fitness than just sitting around listening. But I've been making use of it, the time, the like talking time, foam rolling constantly, holding planks, doing kind of just isometric exercises or shit, wall sits and stuff. And then it's been good, man. I'm just been going every day to noon gi, and then Fridays is no gi. This week I got invited to like kind of a secret underground no gi class on Wednesdays, so I'll be doing doubles on Wednesdays. I don't think I'm gonna train at night. It's just the girls' schedule. I just want to be on the girls' schedule, not have to worry about my sleep and be all jacked up on caffeine at night. Gives you more time to talk to my lady, although those conversations might be coming to an end. Um, yeah, I admittedly, candidly, like I've been a little, I don't want to say depressed just because of the issues going on uh with my girlfriend, but definitely like, more unsettled psychologically, not necessarily depressed because I it'll be super sad if this relationship ends, but unlike in past times, I won't feel like completely emotionally devastated and like empty, purposeless, directionless. I will feel a little directionless. I'm not gonna lie because that has been my plan for the past six. Really, if we start dating in 6 months ago, 7 months ago, and for 6 months, yeah. And after about a month, I recognized, okay, this is something serious. So I knew we were heading this direction. So it will be a definitely up, like pulling the rug out of under my kind of medium term and even potentially long term plans. But I recognize the value in that, and we'll pivot. And as Jocko Willink always says, dude, if you haven't seen Jocko Willink's video, good, so it is good. Check that shit out, dude. The one, I don't know, whichever the official one that has like the fucking metal music behind it. It's good, man. Like every quote unquote like failure or bump in the road, there's always an bind. It's always an equal and opposite reaction. So every quote unquote negative development in your life, there's going to be an opportunity for positive development on the other side. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what where I am in life at after this trip to LA this weekend. My mom and sister are actually going to be in LA this weekend because my little sister's moving to Ventura, California, which is about an hour outside of LA. That's really exciting. I hope I end up down in LA as well, and that kind of just comes like my new home base. Both me and my sister are there. That'd be really cool. But we'll see. Always good to get humbled and see how you bounce back in life. And I still remain optimistic. I know that I love this woman and that uh, my intentions are good and pure. Um, but sometimes you know that's not enough, and there's chemistry and things like that involved. So we will see uh, what life holds a week from now. In the meantime, I'll continue. I've been really enjoying my time with the girls. Man, JoJo and Amy, dude, I've been coaching JoJo's soccer team just randomly. I don't know if I've talked about this, but JoJo started playing soccer and her it's like a club team, I guess. JoJo's in first grade, right? So it's not rec. It's like a club. It's obviously very early stages of what would turn into like a select travel club team. Um, some of the girls have played before. JoJo's never played before. They sent an email before the season started saying they need someone to coach the team, and I sent them an email back saying I'd love to coach the team, but I'm just shitty at checking my emails and texting, so parent communication might be an issue. Fortunately, one of the girls' dad stepped up to coach the team, but I could tell during the first couple of practice he was kind of overwhelmed. Not overwhelmed. He does a great job, but he could use some help. So I just asked him respectfully, if you want to use some help, I don't want to step on your toes. I'd be happy to help you. And he just take me in. And fortunately, their first game they split. They wasn't just one game. They split both teams up into two teams. So you had four separate teams, two separate games. And so we needed a second coach that first game. And so I started coaching one of our teams, one of the games. And man, it was a great fucking experience. Not to like keep going back to the girlfriend fighting situation, but I'm pretty I think a huge reason why things have kind of fallen apart the last couple of months with my lady is that it's the distance, right? I don't think I know I'm not good at keeping in touch and expressing my emotion and affection over the phone. It's just the truth. Um, uh, but man, there's been so many moments, and so sometimes if you're thinking negatively, you can regret like, man, I should have stayed in LA and not let this relationship fall apart. But my first commitment and first love was these girls, Jojo and Emmy. And so I needed to see it through. It didn't feel right to just leave and stay in LA. I really wanted to come and help them get settled here in their new home. And man, coming out on that field and seeing JoJo play soccer and score her first goal and play her first soccer game was like one of those moments like, fuck, man, no matter all of the difficult conversations I've had to have with my girlfriend and the difficulty it's kind of been in moving up here and the not ideal circumstances of living in Buddy Lucas's fucking basement right now. Uh, it's all worth it to have those moments with these girls. I had another one like that when we went to the Oregon coast, like one of my first couple weekends up here, and JoJo wasn't even there that weekend. She was actually back in LA with her mom at one of her old friends from kindergarten's birthday. And I was just out on the Oregon coast with on the beach on the shore with Emmy, just carrying Emmy and giving her a kiss and having her like just put her head on my shoulder and looking out that beautiful coast and the beautiful trees and the forest and the wind. Oh man, it's a truly special moment that I'll always remember. Because my time with these girls will come to an end soon, and it's this like day to day capacity. I'll always be back visiting them, and they'll always be in my life. But this day to day capacity being with him is coming to an end soon. So, man, I always remember that, and I don't regret coming up here in the least. I love this girl so much. I love my girlfriend very much as well. Um, so it's tough. You can't be everywhere at once. And it kind of feels like my heart's going to break. I've always kind of known since I knew we were going to move up to LA that my heart was going to break in some kind of way. It's like, I'm about to say goodbye to these little girls from my day to day relationship with them, and the heart's broken, or I have to say goodbye to my girlfriend because, it's not working out. Heartbreak's there. So I don't want to think my heart's going to break in either way. I know my relationship with the girls is always going to be, and I'm confident I can work things out with this lady, this beautiful lady. So I'm glad to be up here. It's totally unexpected. I've been hanging out with my buddy Jordan, who I know through my buddy Sam. It's a DC friend of mine. Jordan is both a lawyer and now in residency as a doctor, and he's going to be a doctor. He gave up law. And he's just a really good, socially active guy, positive, obviously smart dude. And he's fortunately moved up here to do his residency right before I moved up here. And seems about once a week he's got something going on, some kind of party or not party, I don't really party, but like concert or we went to like, yeah, it was like a little party in the park the other day and go to the sauna. We tried to go to the sauna twice and we just weren't able to go, just mismanage our reservation or whatever, but ended up going out to dinner last night and, uh, it's really good to have him here. It's been cool to chill in Portland and, uh, experience this new city in the Pacific Northwest, a place I've never lived before. So, man, I'm just gonna do my best every day to be the best person I can be. Try to grow every day. Grind away in jujitsu and martial arts kind of keeps me focused on that path of self development. There's gonna be some major changes coming professionally here in the near future, and perhaps even talk to some people down in LA this weekend if things go well with the lady about moving down to I talked to Lucas about moving down to LA sooner rather than later. Um, to kind of salvage this relationships, and so I have some conversation with some people down there this weekend about work and stuff like that. So we shall see. Stay positive, keep grinding. Thank you for listening. Keep you updated on everything a week from now. It'll probably be next weekend, about the 27th or so. I love you all. Namaste.